Parsha. This is the Parsha. Last week, Lavan, Yaakov runs away with everyone from Lavan. They make a bris together, saying that they're going to both part ways. And now Yaakov is re-meeting with Esav. And that's how this week's Parsha opens up. Yaakov sends messengers to Esav, and the messengers come back saying, Vayishuva malachim al Yaakov lemer. And the malachim, the messengers come back to Yaakov saying, Banu el Esav. We came to your brother, to Esav. Rashi says on this, why does it say to your brother Esav? Because Yaakov was hoping that he was going to be a brother, but he was, the malachim are saying, nope, he's still Esav. V'gam holech l'kroscha ba'arba meos ish imo, and he's coming to greet you, and he has 400 men coming along with him. So vayira Yaakov ma'od, Yaakov gets frightened, vayetzalo, and he gets nervous. Vayachat esa'am asher ito, and he splits his group, his nation that he has with him. He splits his camp into two. And he says, if Esav comes to the camp, if he comes and he strikes one of the camps, the remaining camp will escape. Meaning, if one camp gets hit, at least we'll have the other camp. So, what does this mean to us? What does this mean to us? We'll see. We've been learning that these psukim are talking to us right now. So what does this mean for us? Esav in general represents the other side. Amalek comes from Esav. And Yaakov, whose name is Yisrael, represents a Yid. So what is this telling us in our own personal avodah? So let's see Likutei Halachot, Reb Nosson. So this is a very important piece of advice with regards to avodas Hashem or personal development, self-growth. Let's see. So he says this is the idea of this is the idea that Yaakov split the camp into two, the Shnei Machanos, and this, the remaining camp, will escape. What does that mean? When one sees that it's difficult for one to reach or to do something to its fullest, meaning if one realizes that he can't fulfill the advice. Over here, I guess he's referring to one of Reb Nachman's pieces of advice, or any advice you hear from anyone, or any piece of chizuk, or any idea in Torah. If you realize that it's difficult for you, to fulfill the eitzah to the fullest, you need to do pretty much what you could do, at least half of it. In a situation where you'll be able to have half of the escape, meaning and you won't be lost completely. Let's see, that he won't say, you know what, forget it, I can't do the whole thing, so forget it. I'm done, I'm dropping everything, and I'm just going to party. And I'm just going to party. Rak yishtadel shal koponim yishar mashi yishar. One should put in effort to get out what he could. Hainu kisharoa adam shayitzahar misgaber alav. When a person sees that the evil inclination or his lower self is overpowering him with anxiety or temptations to do negative things, and he's feeling overwhelmed. Kamosha misgaber, like it's overpowering. And it appears to him, and it appears to him that he's not able to stand up to the Yetzer properly. He realizes that he's going down. There's a powerful force opposing him, and he doesn't feel that he has the strength to stand up fully. And every single strategy or all the pieces of advice that he's heard in the past, it's not, he doesn't feel that he's able to activate it properly. And because of this, and because of this, his eitzah is separated, meaning he doesn't have the full eitzah, meaning this one's not working, so I don't have anything. So rather, in this situation, the advice that you have is not working completely, it's separated, it's cholok, it's not fully working. And now at this time, the avoda in this time, when one feels completely being bombarded by whatever it is going on, his negative thoughts, whatever's going on, he has to, at least he should, or he doesn't have to, he can do whatever he wants, but what one should try to do is to at least fulfill a little bit of the advice. That's the idea of saving the nation. That Yaakov said, you know what, at least half of Klal Yisrael will live on. Meaning, even if I can't keep us all alive, at least half of us. Hainu, that is, sheyikba belibo, that a person should instill in one's heart. She'ech sheyia, that no matter what the situation will be, afal pike, nevertheless, ani chazak, I'll be strong. Shelo haya nosag la'achar legami, that I'm not going to completely retreat me Hashem Yisbarach. I'm not going to drop everything. Okay, fine. So I can't get up in the morning. I can't have a complete davening. I can't focus. I can't learn. I can't do all the things that I want. I can't stay a full day without saying something negative about someone else, or I can't maintain das all day. I can't be in the present. I can't focus on Hashem. I can't do that all day. So maybe just drop the whole thing. So no, don't drop the whole thing. Rather, be strong, not to completely retreat, and not to completely give up hope. And don't be of those, there were pious people that completely fell and dropped everything. Rahman al-Islam, like we've heard from the tzaddikim. Rak ani, a person should say to themselves, I'm going to stand on mishmar, stand on my guard. Lachtov ma sheyuchal, and I'm going to grab whatever I could. I'm going to do whatever I could in this situation. If I could, if I can't learn, I'll say a parak of Tehillim. If not, I'll call someone else. I'll call someone up. I'll say hello. I'll go out for a walk. Whatever you'll do, I'll try to meditate for a little bit. I'll try to call up a friend, get some chizuk. Whatever you can do, just grab whatever you could. Hang on to whatever you could. In order that at least you have half of the camp escape. Okay, fine. So you won't get, but Yaakov is teaching us a very powerful, it's not an all or nothing game. It's not either my whole family survives or none. No, we split it up. And the pasuk says specifically, that Yaakov got very nervous and he split the nation in half. And he said, this is what Yaakov said to himself, Im yavo Esav ala machna ha'achas v'yikayu, if Esav one camp and he strikes them, the other camp will be able to escape. For Yaakov, it's not an all or nothing game. It's not all or nothing. Half, even one, it's worth it. It's worth it to set up, to do whatever you could in order to at least have anything remaining. Even one mitzvah, even one good thing, one good smile, one night, whatever you can do. It's not an all or nothing game. That's what Yaakov's coming to teach us. It's all or nothing. Lamoshel. So Rav Nosson says, for example, if a person desires a tremendous amount, And he wants to learn a lot, and he wants to daven a lot, and he wants to increase his spiritus. And he wants to become completely clean from all sin and from any impure thought, any negative thought. And he sees that that's hard. It's hard, after Yom Kippur, you come out, I want to completely change. I want to be completely new. I want to start fresh. That's done with everything. I'm done. It's time to move on. But then you realize in the real world, it's not so easy. So what should you do? Should you just drop it all? Or you know what? Try to do what you can do. And chas v'shalom, one feels like I can't dive and get there, your mouth's not, you're not in it. So at least see to it that you just say one word. Just say to Hashem, help me, whatever. Just say, Hashem, thank you, and leave. Do whatever you can do. Afal Pikin, Almod Ma'ato Harbi, learn a little bit or a lot. Al Kaponim is Gaber, and this is a very powerful line. And this is a very powerful idea in the teachings of Reb Nachman, this next idea. Al Kaponim, and at least as Gaber Bertsonos Chazakim La Hashem Yisbarach, at least and empower the ritzonos to have strong wantings and strong desires to do the right thing. That at least Reb Nachman and the Baal Shem Tov really focused on this a lot. The idea of the rotzon, that Rachmana liba boy, the Zohar says that, or it's the Gemara, that Hashem desires your heart. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what Hashem wants is your heart. That's what he wants. Rachmana liba boy. That's what the Shulchan Aruch says, or whatever the Mishnah Berurah says, that echad amarbe ve'echad amamit u'bavad she'ichavin libo l'Hashem. Whether you do a little, as long as your intention is towards to do the right thing. That one of the most important things in Yiddishkeit, or the most important thing, could be, Reb Nachman says all the time, "Va'ikar hu haratzon." Main thing is the ratzon, meaning we can't choose what the outcome is. We can't choose that things will actualize in this way or that way. We have no idea. But the one thing that we do have control over is our ratzon. We could choose to want, or we could choose to have that desire or that shukah to come close to Hashem and to do the right thing. And when one finds himself in a situation where he can't completely fulfill what he wants to. So first, do what you could do, but even more than that, increase all the ritzonos that you have within you, to have strong ritzonos to Hashem. That just the etzach, al kaponim, and to cry out to Hashem Shalom, to cry out to Hashem of the world, Hoshia, save me. That's a very powerful tool. That one, do what you could do. It's not an all or nothing game. And number two is focus on cultivating that desire to come close, because the stronger your desire is, the more of a chance that you'll have to actually do it. And this is another eitzah. Reb Nosson is just throwing in one after another. And let's say you're not sure what to do. You're not sure. You have two options in front of you, whether to travel or to stay at home. You're conflicted, like many people in this world, including myself, including a lot of people. Anyways, let's say you're confused. What is the right thing to do? Should I do this? Should I travel? Should I stay? Should I go? What should I do? And you're not able to place an eitzah on one's soul, meaning it's not sitting. You don't have complete clarity. Nevertheless, chazak b'daiti, one should be strong in his mind. Shabein bebesi, bein bedarach. Whether I'm traveling, whether I'm at home, whether I'm here, whether I'm there, whatever you choose to do, ech tov tov mashuchal. Do as much good as you could. That's the bottom line. Wherever you go, just do whatever you could. That's it. I love when Reb Nosson says these statements of, and like many, many other things would elaborate, and I can't express in detail, and figure it out yourself and apply it to yourself in your own personal, because this is a very general idea, and each one has to take this idea personally and see where this applies in their life. And everything that we've been talking about is the bechinas of ahoya hamachne hanisher lefleita, of is the whole idea of having that idea of that Yaakov separated the camp, so at least half of the camp will escape. That it's okay to have some, it's not an all or nothing game, number one. Number two, so work on your itzonos, work on your desire, work on cultivating that wanting to come closer, to do the right thing. And number three, whatever you choose, even if you're not 100% certain if that's the right thing, do as much good as you could. That's it. It's not an all or nothing game. And all of this is what Rashi, and this is what Rashi says. This is what Rashi says, that Bal Korcho, and bring this Rashi, that he said that Yaakov says that half of the camp will go to escape. Al Korcho, I'm forced to do this. I'm going to have to fight with him. Meaning we're forced in life with situations where that's just what it is. We don't have a choice. But Yaakov makes a conscious decision not to retreat, not to run away, but I'm going to confront the situation, and I'm going to create a circle where at least half of my family, but it's really the lifeline of Klal Yisrael and eternity, will remain. Because with this, ani chazak, I am strong. Shabal korcho yamurchoch la'anicheni shia nishar lial kopana machana hanishar lefleita ki ilachim imo. Because with this, I'm strong. That at least with this, I'm gonna be forced, or I'm gonna have a little bit remaining. And it's a very, I just thought that it's a very relevant idea, especially right now. So that was one very important idea. Any thoughts, comments? The next one's also another. I mean, we don't have to. How's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling?
I think it's wonderful. I mean, it is. It's about not giving up and seeing what is done. It also brings to mind, it's a little different, but it's the same that, I know that the Baal Shem Tov, and I think the Lubavitcher Rebbe really emphasized that every mitzvah stands on its own. So whatever one person does, they don't have to do the whole thing like you're saying, but whatever they are doing is valuable and important, and to hold on to that.
100%. So this next piece, we'll move through this one also. This is another very important yesod, where it says that in the continuation of the post, in this parak, it says, "Vayakum b'laylahu v'yikach hashtei nosha v'shtei shivchosa v'es achadasar yolada v'yaveres mavar yabuk." So Yaakov is on one side of the river, and he brings his whole family over, and this is and then he went back to bring back his stuff. And the next pasuk is he goes back and he's left alone with Esav's angel, and he fights all night. So Rashi says, just an interesting thing. He says, what does it mean that Yaakov went back to go bring over all the things that he had? All of his stuff he owned and his cattle. So this is a very interesting next statement that Rashi says. He says, Osa atzmo kigashar, noto mikan umaniach kan. He made himself, truth is in Rashi, there wasn't nekudos. It could be read gesher, like a bridge. That Yaakov made himself like a bridge to take from here and place it over here. A gasher is also like a ferryman, but we'll see that Likutei Halachot, Reb Nosson understood it as a bridge. That became like a bridge. So what does that mean? Why is Rashi telling us that Yaakov was like a bridge? And what does that mean for us in our life? So let's see. Likutei Halachot. This is the idea of Masha Nemer B'Yaakov V'Yaver Smaver V'Yaver Es Asher Lo, that it says by Yaakov that he took everything that he had from across one side of the river and to the other. Uperish Rashi, and Rashi explains that also Atzmo Kegesher, that he made himself. So what does this mean? Yaakov hu bechinas emes. Yaakov is the idea of emes, truth. But truth is, I heard from Rabbi Rieti quoting Reb Shimon Schwab. Rabbi Rieti is very into defining Hebrew words. That a lot of times the definitions that we have in Hebrew are really from Christianity. Not really, they don't really define the word. So emes means truth, but really emes means much more than truth. The way Rabbi Rieti defined it as reality. Emes means reality. Emes means tapping into what really is, that Hashem is running the world. Hashem echad u'shma echad, really connecting into the reality of any situation. What is the truth? It's not just like 2 + 2 = 4, but it's connecting in with reality. K'moshe Kosev, like it says, connecting with Torah. That's the idea of Yaakov is Torah. Yaakov is Mishpat, he's Tferes. K'moshe Kosev, like it's written, Titan Emes Yaakov, that Emes was given to Yaakov. What does that mean? Now look what he says. I don't know if we're going to do this whole thing, but I think just even the beginning is very important. It says, Ki ikar hagesher lavar olav bezah olam, bridge, which is used to pass through this world. If one wants to get through this world, the bridge, hu emes, is connecting with emes, is connecting with reality. It's connecting with Torah. It's connecting with what is, and not getting lost in your thoughts, and not getting lost in your story and your negative thoughts, but what is reality? What is really happening? Because Rab Nachman says that a person passes through this world on a very narrow bridge. And the main thing is not to make oneself nervous at all. That's the ikar. The list goes to then to be zocha to this, glavar al hagesher shel zeh olam. And for one to be zocha, to pass through this narrow bridge of this world, hu al yedei bechinas emes, is through connecting to emes, is through connecting to the reality, what is true, what is really happening, what's my negative thoughts, and what's really happening. What does the Torah want? What is the truth of any given situation? Kmo omrim ha'olam, like it says, she'im emes, the world says, supposedly in that time, I guess it was a saying, she'im emes, that with emes yichom lavar al kol olam. With connecting to emes, one's able to pass through this whole world, no problem. Ki ikar hu emes, because the main thing is to connect oneself to emes. Ki chos Moshe HaKadosh emes, because the stamp of Hashem is emes. Ubo nachtamu shamayim va'aretz, and with that Hashem stamped and signed off heavens and earth. K'moshe Kosev, like it says, Bereshis bara Elokim, Sofi Tevos emes, that if you take the Taf, the Aleph, and the Mem, the last letters of Bereshis bara Elokim is emes. Hashem signed off on this world that the signature of Hashem in this world is emes. That through that on this, that on emes is the foundation of the world. Emes is reality, as we were just translating. Emes is the truth of the situation. Torah, the fact that Hashem runs the world is emes. That's the reality, and that's what everything stands on. V'chol ha'bilbulim v'amaniyos sheyesh la'odam me'avodas Hashem, and all the confusion and all the obstacles that one has in avodas Hashem. And look what he says, Sha'ikar hu maniyas hamoach. What's the main obstacle? The main obstacle is the obstacle of one's own mind and one's own negative thoughts. It's not external forces. It's one's own head. That's the main thing that gets in the way. The main piece of advice, if one wants to through that, is connect to emes. Connect to what is reality, what is objective reality. What's your subjective thoughts and entering into the emes, entering into what is really true. Derech la'odam la'avra al-kol, which is a guide for a person to pass through this world. B'chinas, which is the idea of shlach orcha v'amitcha hemi yanchuni, that send your light and your truth, they will guide. That's what David HaMelech says. U'kmoshe kosav, and like it says, a'alech ba'amitacha, I will walk in your truth. And this is actually, we had this when we were dealing with Tzor Tasala Tefa, that Rav Nachman says that if one is stuck in darkness, the way out is to connect to Diburim of Emes, speak words of truth, be honest, be open with Hashem, with others. Shubechinas Emes, which is the idea of Emes, She'osa Atzmo Kegesher, that he made himself like, this is the idea that Yaakov made himself like a bridge. This is the idea, this hints to the fact that Emes is the bridge of getting through the world, because Yaakov is Titin Emes to Yaakov. Yaakov is the one of the Ovos that represents Emes. He's a Tam, he's complete, he's whole, he's Tferes, he's the Midah of Tferes, which is Torah, which is the combination of Chesed and Gevura. He's the complete. And with Yaakov, with the Midah of Yaakov, you could pass through this world. That's the Gesher, Tsar Ma'od, that Reb Nachman talks a lot about, to walk along that narrow bridge. That's talking about the Midah of Yaakov, as Rashi said, that Yaakov was the Gesher. Osa Atzmo Kegasher, Noto Mikan Meniach Mikan. That he made himself like a bridge. Yaakov is the bridge that takes one through this world. Ki ha'emes hu ha'gesher dekedusha b'bchinas ma shenemar b'Yaakov shu b'chinas emes she'osa atzmo kegesher. Ze remesh ha'emes hu ha'gesher. Okay, whatever he goes on, we could go on. I don't know. It's not that much longer. We'll go through this.
Yeah.
Ki Yaakov asa atzmo kegesher lahatzelos kol asher lo mipachad alaylo mipachto shel esav shalach lekroso, because Yaakov made himself like a bridge to save all that he had from fear of night. This is when Yaakov went back again to bring everything across and to save himself from Esav, who was coming to greet him. Shekol zeh hu b'chinas klol yis ha'pchodim ha'yisum v'amaniyos sheyesh la'odam mikol ha'sonim v'ma'akim she'mislavish v'mayitzora. This represents the idea of Yaakov making himself a bridge. This represents, and to bring everything over from one side of the river to the next, the idea of Yaakov being the bridge is the way, and what Yaakov was doing, he was the one that went in right into the fear. It even says that Yaakov was afraid, that to go into the fear of the night, the fear of Esav, which Reb Nosson says represents each person's individual fears, tribulations, obstacles that come from, as Reb Nachman said before, the Iker Mania Moach, the main mania, the main obstacle that people have is their own mind. But what enemies they have that the Yetzer Hara is enclosing within them, Shu b'chinas Esav, which is this idea of Esav Kiyadua, which is known. Valkain Yaakov Simin Labanov, Yaakov made a sign for his children and for generations, us, that the only way to pass through all these fears and all the tribulations and as we said it, we're not, the main tribulations and everything is within. It's not an external thing, it's from within, is to connect oneself to emes, which again means reality, with what is the objective truth of any given situation. Shu b'chinas Yaakov she'asa atzmo kegesher, which is the idea of Yaakov making himself like a bridge. And it's very interesting, just by Kriyas Yamsuf, by the Oz Yashir, he goes on to say that in Oz Yashir, it says, Malcha Yam Kisonos, woe to the Yam to the ocean that it fled, Melifnei Elokai Yaakov, from before the God of Yaakov. Why did it say specifically the God of Yaakov by the Yamsuf? When they were praising Oz Yashir, what happened? The Yam congealed, whatever, that, meaning it stood up on both sides, and then there was a bridge or whatever, a thoroughfare within the Yam. So while they were praising Hashem, they said, Melifnei Elokai Yaakov, from before the God of Yaakov. What does that represent? Why specifically the God of Yaakov? Because that, again, what was able to create that thoroughfare was the Midah of Yaakov, which is the Midah of emes, the Midah of reality of the fact that Hashem is completely running this world, and that every single thing that happens is nisim when it flows, as the Ramban says, that all miracles, that Mitzrayim, Yitzias Mitzrayim, the exodus of Egypt, comes to teach us that through the miraculous great nisim, the makos and everything, we come to realize that every single thing is a nes, that Hashem is completely involved in this world 100%. And through that midah of emes, which is the reality, which is the fact that Hashem runs this world, that is what gave the koach to split the sea and for them to walk through. That emes is that bridge again, which gives one the ability to even pass through the sea. Again, and he just says at the end that it's very interesting that on the third day was the day when Hashem pretty much said, that the third day is when Hashem said, all the water should gather here in order that we should see the land. Again, the third day, the third represents the Midah of Yaakov, which Yaakov is the one that gives us the ability to have that dry land, to stay on the bridge. If one wants to, again, as Rav Nachman says, that a person needs to cross that this whole world is a narrow bridge, and the main thing is not yitpached, is to make oneself afraid at all. That's the main thing. And the way to do that is by connecting to the midah of emes. That's the idea of Yaakov, what Rashi says, that Yaakov made himself like a gesher. That Yaakov is that gesher, Yaakov is that bridge, which is the midah of emes to pass through this world. So to summarize, yeah, I think we just summarized. But we should be zocha mamish. Yasher koach. Thank you, everyone, for coming on.
Thank you.
Any thoughts, comments?
Chazak Baruch.
Baruch
Yeah.
Hashem.
Yeah, it was very